Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Sunday, March 28, 2021. BBC report. Mozambique. Dozens dead after militant assault on Palma. 7 were killed trying to escape a siege on a hotel, said Omar Saranga. Hundreds of others, both locals and foreigners, were reportedly rescued. The area has been under attack by Islamist militants since Wednesday. Witnesses have described hiding out while waiting to be rescued by boat, on a beach strewn with headless bodies. Marine traffic websites showed a string of vessels around Palma, and the port of Pemba to the south, as people tried to escape by any means: cargo vessels, passenger ships, tugs and recreational boats.
CNN report. Advocates call on Biden administration to prioritize youth mental health as experts warn of consequences. If you or a loved one have contemplated suicide, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or text TALK to 741741. The International Association for Suicide Prevention and Befrienders Worldwide also provide contact information for crisis centers around the world. Kaganovsky, like all Americans, had to readjust her habits and expectations when the pandemic began a year ago. For many high school seniors, that meant realizing there would be no high school graduation or the quintessential freshman year of college.
CNN report. Bolsonaro ordered to pay moral damages to journalist. A Brazilian court has ordered that President Jair Bolsonaro pay damages to a journalist after he made remarks that questioned her credibility. According to newspaper Folha de São Paulo, Bolsonaro suggested last year that Patricia Campos Melo, a reporter for the paper, had offered sex to a source for negative information about him. Campos Melo wrote a series of investigative news reports about a group using WhatsApp to boost Bolsonaro's campaign by criticizing his rivals before the country's 2018 presidential election.
Fox report. Missouri mom dies after falling from resort balcony in Cancun. A Missouri mom was found dead after she apparently plunged from a balcony at a Mexican resort on a spring break vacation, a report said. The unidentified woman had been on a trip with her child and other St. Louis area high school seniors to the now Jade Riviera Cancun resort. News station KTVI reported. She's believed to have fallen from a fourth-floor room at the resort Wednesday. One of the students on the trip stumbled across the scene after the body was found.
Fox report. Suicide bomb hits Palm Sunday Mass in Indonesia, 14 wounded. Makassar, Indonesia. 2 attackers blew themselves up outside a packed Roman Catholic cathedral during a Palm Sunday Mass on Indonesia's Sulawesi island, wounding at least 14 people, police said. A video obtained by the Associated Press showed body parts scattered near a burning motorbike at the gates of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Cathedral in Makassar, the capital of South Sulawesi province. Rev. Wilhelmus Tulik, a priest at the church, said he had just finished celebrating Palm Sunday Mass when a loud bang shocked his congregation.
Fox report. DC police charge teen boys with carjacking as video resurfaces of botched teen girls' deadly carjacking. Just days after 2 teenage girls in Washington, D.C., were charged with a botched carjacking that led to the brutal death of an Uber Eats delivery driver, D.C. Police arrested 2 more teens in another armed carjacking. The 2 boys, ages 13 and 14, and both from Southeast D.C., were arrested Thursday evening and charged with armed carjacking, the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department said. The carjacking occurred Thursday around 10 minutes to 9 p.
BBC report. Myanmar coup victims. The fallen stars from the deadliest day. More than 100 people were killed by security forces on Saturday, including children. Some were killed at protests, others in their own homes. Opponents of the 1st of February coup call the dead fallen stars. Among them was 40-year-old I Ko. The father of 4 lived in the city of Mandalay, where residents said he sold coconut snacks and rice jelly drinks, and was a neighborhood watch member. Multiple reports said he was shot and wounded when soldiers raided the area.
Deutsche Welle report. EU threatens some African states with Schengen visa restrictions. 13 countries in Africa and the Middle East are being threatened with restrictions on visas for Europe's border-free Schengen zone after a lack of cooperation in the repatriation of rejected asylum seekers. A German newspaper reported on Sunday. The state's willingness to follow international law and take back citizens is inadequate. The document stated. This applies in particular to rejected asylum seekers. According to the report, a spokeswoman for the European Commission told the German news agency dpa that it was not possible to confirm which countries were facing such scrutiny.
CNN report. Google offered a professor $60,000, but he turned it down. Here's why. When Luke Stark sought money from Google in November, he had no idea he'd be turning down $60,000 from the tech giant in March. Stark, an assistant professor at Western University in Ontario, Canada, studies the social and ethical impacts of artificial intelligence. In late November, he applied for a Google Research Scholar Award, a no-strings-attached research grant of up to $60,000 to support professors who are early in their careers.
Deutsche Welle report. Suez Canal. Live sheep stuck in ship traffic jam. Suez Canal authorities were optimistic that Sunday's high tide would help refloat the Ever Given freighter as animal advocates raised concerns for sheep stuck on some 20 livestock ships in the logjam. Authorities have been working to free the giant vessel since Tuesday, when it ran aground in the canal and blocked the crucial shipping route in both directions. Animals International announced that thousands of animals, mostly sheep on 13 vessels from Romania, were at risk of dying if the channel did not reopen in the next 24 hours.
CNN report. Biden made stimulus look easy. Selling tax hikes for infrastructure will be harder. President Joe Biden's second big legislative push will be harder than his first for multiple reasons. Most conspicuously this one. It will include tax increases, to be sure. Biden seeks increases of the most popular kind. He intends to target corporations and rich people without aids maintain, touching Americans earning under $400,000 a year. But tax hikes that start out popular don't often end up that way, as Republican strategists are eager to prove again once debate over Biden's Build Back Better infrastructure plan begins in earnest.
Al Jazeera report. Cuban protesters demand U.S. lift trade embargo, sanctions. Hundreds of Cubans joined a protest caravan on Sunday along the Seaside Road in the capital, Havana, to demand an end to the long-standing United States trade embargo against the country. Waving Cuban flags. The protesters, who participated in the rally in cars and on bikes and motorcycles, shouted, "Down with the blockade," as they passed the U.S. Embassy. The caravan was one of several actions held this weekend in more than 50 cities around the world aiming to put pressure on U.S. President Joe Biden to lift the embargo and reverse other harsh economic measures imposed by his predecessor, Donald Trump.
Al Jazeera report. The fake and the real in American cancel culture. Alexei McCammond is supposedly the latest victim of cancel culture. At least, that is what many Americans in elite spaces believe. McCammond recently resigned from her position as editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue just days before she was to begin running the magazine. Her use of racist, anti-Asian and homophobic language on Twitter when she was 17 years old resurfaced. She was only 17. Any number of big-named folks in elite circles like Cenk Uygur and Glenn Greenwald have said.
Fox report. Baltimore grocery store shooting leaves 2 dead, 1 hurt. 2 people have been killed and 1 has been injured in a shooting at grocery store in Baltimore County on Sunday morning, authorities said. The gunfire was heard at around 7 a.m. outside of Royal Farm Store on Middleborough Road in Essex. Baltimore County Police Detective Rob Reason told Fox 45 that authorities were investigating 2 fatal shootings and 1 non-fatal shooting. The outlet noted that crime scene tape was quickly put up as police cars filled the parking lot and that officers and crime lab technicians were focused on a parked car.
Al Jazeera report. A miracle I survived. Younger Brazilians hit by COVID surge. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. When Alessandro Cabral began to experience COVID symptoms in early March, he thought nothing much of it. In fact, the 41-year-old even reassured his friends. "I have COVID," he wrote them in a WhatsApp message from his home in Rio de Janeiro's North Zone. "But I'm not at risk. I eat healthy. I work out. It will pass after a week of light COVID symptoms. However, Cabral's condition worsened dramatically.
BBC report. Is this patriot enough? Single quote. Asian American veteran shows battle scars. Lee Wong, 69, has been applauded for making a powerful statement about discrimination. But some said Asian Americans should not feel compelled to prove their loyalty to their country. Anti-Asian racism is rising in the U.S. Last week 6 Asian women were killed in Atlanta alongside 2 other victims. Mr. Wong, an elected official in Westchester, Ohio, was speaking in a meeting about the racism he has faced as an Asian person.
Deutsche Welle report. Slovakia PM offers to swap roles with finance minister. On Sunday, Slovak Prime Minister Igor Matovic offered to resign from his post and swap places with Finance Minister Eduard Heger. Matovic has come under increasing pressure to relinquish his position for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. We will exchange our posts with Minister of Finance, Eduard Heger. He is a good man and all of us can trust him, Matovic told reporters. The crisis engulfing his governing coalition erupted when a secret deal to buy Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine came to light 3 weeks ago.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.